Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt. Welcome to Friday Fandemonium, the whole hour and a half drive-by afternoon on Friday. I'm home to work, checking out the office, a little Fandemonium talk, I have a comic unboxing, thoughts on a couple of things. Audio as good as you can all hear. While I'm waiting for people to come on, I'm working on something for my aunt. She wants a TV show called Mary and George, so I have acquired it for her. See if anyone's. So I will do the usual. I'll wait to 3:05, and then I'll get into the comic unboxing. And talk about the articles, the usual stuff. Okay. So how is everyone doing this week? We're obviously we're on Easter weekend. The Catholic Easter weekend. I think the Orthodox one is different. Passover, of course, it just happened. 4 days of Lent. All this sort of stuff. So hopefully everyone's having an enjoyable holiday weekend. Although, as I get older, the holidays feel less and less like holidays, in part because, you grow up with your family. Even if the holiday itself doesn't have as much meaning, like say, maybe you're not into the religion or whatever, because you have your family and you celebrate as a family, it tends to mean more. If you get what I'm kind of saying there. If you smell what the mat is cooking, so what that's what it kind of comes down to is, when obviously I'm single, I don't have kids or anything like that, and my family's spread out, and I'm homebound for disability, so I can't go really conveniently spend time with my family, on the holiday. So then what do? I mean, you just make your own food and chill out or whatever. I don't know. It seems a little depressing, but whatever. We you can't prepare to die. You can't. You just got to live the life you got and keep on moving. So if anyone else has any thoughts about the holiday and how you deal as you get older, and maybe your family, with your family, or if you're not into the religious aspect of the holiday, maybe give me a comment down below. As far as personal stuff goes, I'm on a 6-month countdown to obviously my job changing, 6.5 months, somewhere around there. And so now I got to start moving forward. I got past the winter. I'm gonna try to see if I can have a surgery over a couple months, next 3 or 4 months. I have the death and health insurance to make me more mobile. And then, of course, if I can't, then I'll start looking for a job now, right? If I can, otherwise, like, I'll defer. I'll wait until that's over with, so to speak. It's 3:03. So another 2 minutes, and then we'll get into the stuff we're talking about. I don't see anyone who's in the chat yet. For my small but persistent audience, as it were. What I'm working on now, like I said, this Mary and George TV show that my aunt wants. I've gotten some episodes of it for her, so I'm working on, adding that to the Plex so she can watch it. It's 3:04. One more minute, and then we will be good to go as far as the actual topics. By the way, if you ever want anyone out there in chat, which is no one yet, of course, so I am a small timer. If anyone has any questions or topics or whatever, and you want to ask me ahead of time to address it, feel free. That's a perfectly viable alternative, as it were. Okay. And not so. Oh, I've seen part of Godzilla versus Kong. Through the first half an hour, the pacing is certainly better than most of the previous films. They've seemed to have cut down the annoying human characters, but we won't know really until obviously the whole film is there. They did get us right into the monster action with Kong and Godzilla, like right away, which was good. Okay, so far it's okay. So let's get into the actual stuff related to Friday Fandemonium. So I got now this is my monthly comic order, my pre-order, so to speak. What I haven't got, reason I haven't had any comics for the past couple weeks, I haven't. Usually, I'll get like one or two other orders of things I'm looking, back issues I'm looking for, or trying stuff out or whatever. Those I haven't had time to really, or even interested. Sometimes I'm waiting. Like I know the comics I want to read, but sometimes you just don't want to. You don't feel like it, you know what I mean. Now it's time to employ that anti-doxing technology. The 50-cent anti-doxing tech. A little more. Okay. That should be enough. And we will employ the Decepticon knife. Transform. I love the way Things from Little packages their stuff. It's really good. We'll tear that up later. So let's get the books out. Now I'm not getting the books individually bagged and board because I have a huge pile of bags and boards to use up. Okay, so until I get those down, I only hold on to like 10 extra bags and boards. Once I'm used up all I have like 150 of them or whatever sitting in the thing next to me. So once that's all used up, then I'll go back to just paying for the bags and board. Well, I might do the math on it. It might be cheaper just to get another 100 and do it myself again because I have to see what they charge versus what I could get it for. Let's put these in a little bit of order. Okay. So to start with, probably my most anticipated comic of this batch. And the Savage Sword of Conan. Now, for those of you who remember Savage Sword, okay, this is obviously from Titan Comics. This is a $7 book, and so far, quality-wise, for a $7 magazine, full of beautiful art, all black and white. The original Savage Sword of Conan, and that actually is Solomon Kane. So let's see what's in here. So here's our team. All right. And our team is, you know what? Okay. So here's our table of contents first. Okay. And closer. Focus, Bueller, focus. Hide my face. There we go. I don't know if you can see that better yet. Right. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stories. No. 3 stories. An intro by Roy Thomas. A map of the Hyborian Age. Then the 3 stories: Conan and Dragon Horde, Sacrifice in the Sand, Master of the Hunt Part 1, which is a Solomon Kane story, as I showed you. Then there's a Solomon Kane essay, which, by the way, this book, this compilation, which was released in 2008 or so, is the best place to get all the Solomon Kane stuff in one spot. It's essays, there's history, there's all the stories. There's the partial stuff like poems and things he'd never published but only wrote outlines of. That's all in there. Like all these sort of collections that for Robert Howard stuff. Then we have a bunch of pinups, art basically. And so again, I love just the look of this. It feels old school and new at the same time. So I am going to enjoy Savage Sword of Conan. It comes from Titan Comics. I don't know if it's a monthly or quarterly or whatever, but it's an ongoing series. I have someone's out there listening. Well, whoever it is, welcome. Hope you're enjoying the content. I gotta get the right size bags for these. But they gave me a big magazine bag, a full size bag. That's not there's a size bag for this particular size of book. I gotta hunt it down. Here's the back cover which previews next issue. Okay. Now on to a series I'm enjoying a lot. This is Bloodborne: The Bleak Dominion, episode 4, issue 4. It's also from Titan Comics. It's a $4 book. Titan's $4 books are higher quality than most companies' $5 books. You can hear the quality of the cover art, almost cardstock. The spine is rigid, which is great when you're paying for it. So $4 or $5 for a book. Look at the quality of the production. The artwork is bright. I really like when you horror comics this way. I enjoy the shadow style as well. But sometimes if they can take away from the art, There's that. This is an issue I've been enjoying. This is a 3-issue miniseries from Dark Horse. This is a $4 book, and is nowhere near the level of quality of Titan's $4 book. Shame on Dark Horse; they're a bigger company. Should do better than this. I could hear if I don't hold this right, this will literally crease fold around my finger. Okay. I've enjoyed this series, Borealis. It's based on what appears to be American Indian / Aleutian or Eskimo lore. It's set in Alaska, obviously. It's a 3-issue miniseries. I really enjoyed it. Okay, obviously, let's see how it ends, right? Now you notice this is again more of a fantasy horror comic, and they go to darker backgrounds, but they do it well in this series. The artists, so they don't take away from, they change up for a greenish background. They don't take away from the artwork and make it harder to see by using a darker background, which is a good skill set for the artists. And we have our creative team here of story by Mark Verheiden and Aaron Douglas, the art by Cliff Richards, the colors by Guy Major, lettering by Jim Campbell, publisher is Mike Richardson, editor is Chris Warner, associate editor is Jenny Blank, designer is Hannah Noble, and digital tech is Joey Weaver. I didn't read the art for the Conan to you because I couldn't figure it out. There was a lot. The credits. There was a lot of people in that magazine, and I had to figure out, who were just sort of there for the sake of being there with their name versus the ones who actually worked in the book. Cobra Commander #2. Right. I enjoyed Cobra Commander #1. This is an Image book, $4. Still not quite. I mean, it's like 90% the quality of the Titan $4 book. Not quite the card. The big difference is that Titan seems to use a card stock of some sort for their covers, or at least a very thick paper, whereas Image doesn't. Okay, good looking artwork. And our team here is Josh Williamson, Andrea Milena as the artist, Anna Leone is the colorist, Russ Wooten is the letterer. The variant covers are by Andrea Milani and Annalisa Leone is one, Ricardo Lopez Ortiz is another one, Chris Burnham and Brian Weber is another one, Eiko is another one, Nick Dragotta and Patricia Del Peche is another one, and then our editors are Sean McKenzie and Jonathan Manning, and so on and so forth. I'm not a big fan of spamming variant covers, but, again, we're back to Titan Comics and their high-quality $4 books. Conan the Barbarian is a great series so far. I'm choosing to read this in arcs. So the first arc was the first 4 or 5 issues. I read those. Once I get the next arc, I will read those issues. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it. I'll enjoy the first arc. Great artwork, man. Just beautiful. This is a mini series from Massive called Crashdown. Massive has done, we call it my spreadsheet, of course. Crashdown is from Massive. I have, it's a sci-fi story, I believe, if I recall correctly. Has a little sort of, like, sometimes I don't like the funky artwork, but in this case I do. I believe this is about landing on an alien world, a colony. Here's one of the ongoing Godzilla series, Godzilla War for Humanity. This is, of course, from IDW Godzilla, not Dark Horse Godzilla. This is a $5 book. IDW quality of IDW's books suck. Story, I buy them for the story, not for the quality of the book. This is I've had like $2 comics in the 80s, which would have been better quality than the production level of this book. But I do like the art. It has that sort of 60s Godzilla art feel. I like the coloration. Now this, I got solely because I'm a fan of John Carpenter. It's a miniseries called Toxic Commando. I have no idea what it's actually about. other than the usual horror stuff that John Carpenter deals with. It's written Michael Moretti. It's a $4 book. Again, it's standard Dark Horse, low quality, $4. Script by Michael Moretti, art by Alberto Jimenez Albuquerque, colors by Jason Wordy, letters by Nate Picos, cover by Alberto Jimenez Albuquerque, who's the artist. Decent quality. An ongoing series I'm enjoying a lot of. In fact, I'm missing one issue. I want to say issue 26, so I can catch up on the arc that's going on right now. Otherwise, I'm basically just, accumulating books, so to speak. This is number 28. I like of the Massive Verse comics from Image. I enjoyed all the Radiant Black, Radiant Red, Radiant Pink. I've enjoyed those. The horror, the supernatural, which is like Rogue Sun or something like that. I was kind of mad with that one, so I'm not continuing that. But they're all standalone. And there's another line of comics from them I've followed and I wasn't too happy about. The Rogue Sun, Radiant Black is really good. The only qualifier on Radiant Black that I would say to people is the storytelling. The writing is a little. They leave you to interpret things like that if a character doesn't have to go to the bathroom, right, and then you see them walking towards the bathroom, and then the next scene is them say on the couch relaxing, you can infer that they've gone to the bathroom. Okay, obviously, but so that's a very simplistic way of you would be able to infer a story element occurred without necessarily having to see it, right? And if used properly, that sort of tool works very well. Used less properly, like for example, that's why this isn't a great series. It's a fun series. It's good, but it's not great because they do a lot of that. A lot of they should tell you or show you. They let you infer. They use that inference technique a little too much. And last, and from Dynamite, this is a $5 book. Again, beautiful artwork on the cover, man. Obviously, I'm a fan service shill. Chitara, my mind wife, Chitara. The covers are basically cardstock. I'm hoping the internal artwork is better. Not that the artwork was bad from the first book, but you can tell almost page to page it was like it was a different artist, and I think that was because they were farming it out to artists via to do various pages like a project, and so the style was a little inconsistent. For example, Chitara in here looks way less like Chitara here, but that's different cover to internal, right? The question is, does Chitara is our consistency of look going to be the same? I'll have to give it a good perusal. Also, come on, Dynamite, you're better than this. This is for the amount you pay for this. There needs to be more content in this, okay? I mean, I love Thundercats, but I'm only going to give this like 5 issues at most. If all I'm getting is this tiny little bit of content. So those are the comics. I'll probably, I'll do a pre-recorded video where I go over what do you call it? Maybe ordering some comics like that are outside of my regular monthly order. So I'll do that maybe. I have a 3-day weekend basically, so I'll do it over the course of the 3-day weekend. Excuse me, sorry guys. Okay, so what's next? Let's get on to our articles. They're queued up and ready to go. I'll start with some sad news. Louis Gossett Jr. has passed away at the age of 87. It's kind of very sad. 87 is a good long life. I'm happy. Movie that I enjoy. Enemy Mine is a great science fiction movie. Great movie in general. Obviously, he was an Officer and Gentleman where he won an Oscar for that. he was in the Horrible Roots miniseries. Horrible because it fictionalized, legitimate. There could have been there are much more legitimate tales of people surviving slavery than that nonsense. He played Chappie Sinclair in the Iron Eagle movies. Now, the first Iron Eagle movie to me is a fun, like really fun movie, and I enjoy it a lot. Iron Eagle 2 was okay. The ending was good. The gay ending sucked. After that, it's just made for video spam. Obviously, he was in Jaws 3D. He was in the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie, which to me is still the best Punisher movie, and better than the TV shows. He's played on many TV shows. He probably done voice work like on Captain Planet and the Batman. He's been in Stargate. He's been all over. The TV show I enjoyed when I was a kid that he was in, The Powers of Matthew Starr. Great, a really great actor who deserved more renown than he got. And Louis Gossett Jr. has passed away. Here is his filmography. Well, he also was a stage actor, which is why it was great. So this is his total works. Started working in the 60s. Skin Game. I remember that movie. It was pretty good. What else? The Deep. I remember The Deep, and it was it's a Peter Benson novels. I remember liking it. Okay. Obviously, Officer General mentioned, Joyce 3D we mentioned. Finders Keepers, I think I kind of liked. Enemy Mine, one of my top 10 favorite science fiction movies of all time. Firewalker was a pretty good buddy movie with him and Chuck Norris. Okay. A Gathering of Old Men. He's underrated in that, but he's also really good. What else? Toy Soldiers is a very underrated movie. I would urge people to watch that. What else we got here? More recent times, he's done stuff that you could like or dislike. He has his television work. He was in a show I loved as a kid, Doc Tyree. He had an appearance there. I remember The Young Rebels. Partridge Family was a show I loved as a kid. He had a guest appearance there. Bonanza. Again, a long-running time period. Series of appearances on TV shows and things like, immense work, and his theater work, of course, every year, right? Which he's most well known for Raising the Sun, obviously, right? So again, Lou Gossett Jr. He is missed, and I urge you. I have all my articles down below, including this. I urge you to check his work out, especially Enemy Mine. If I had to recommend Lou Gossett Jr. work to you, I was Enemy Mine, Iron Eagle 1. And maybe Skin Game and Raging in the Sun. Those are the ones I kind of say definitely look up. But Enemy Mine. Okay? So what's next? We go from sad news, but of a good spirited nature, to idiocy. So apparently they want to do a reboot of Power Rangers. I'll get to in a minute. Which of course they're going to put a chicken and make it gay. And of course it's going to go nowhere because no one's going to watch that. But you know another reason no one's going to watch that? Because the original Power Rangers series is still ongoing. So Netflix is going to make their own Power Rangers thing or pay for someone to make a Power Rangers thing, despite the fact the original Super Sentai series in Japan is still ongoing and they're still adapting it into the mainstream Power Rangers continuity. So they're going to make another Power Rangers show, which is going to be the Woke Rangers or something, and no one's going to watch it. And here, more idiocy. BBC's Jules article for Purge against gamers opposing Sweet Baby Inc.'s forced DEI. So the vast majority of people who buy games are not the woke left, okay? These people complain about this stuff, but never buy the games, never go to the movies, never read the books, never buy the comics. Never, okay? Or if they do, they'll buy like one issue and that's it, The majority of fans are not them. Excuse me. And what they don't understand is over the past 5 to 10 years, alternative ecosystems are being created. Okay, meaning if they purge people from Steam, well, guess what? There are gaming platforms arising where don't need Steam. Okay, and Steam knows that, and Steam is not being stupid about this. They're saying you can make this list, and if you like it, you can follow. If you don't know, it's a free speech thing. So far, Steam seems to understand that. Leave the speech alone and let the money go. Now, the danger of this is in Europe. Okay, so this is not going to affect anything they do with this nonsense here. Isn't going to affect us in the U.S. because we have the Constitution here, and we still have a sizable percentage of the country that wants the Constitution, right? But in Europe, where they basically have the European fascist union over there, and a lot of fascists in their local government, they can suppress their free speech and their freedom of association rights. Okay, so they will try to browbeat people into compliance, but they think what will happen is people won't buy the games anymore. The ones who want a game will pirate or use VPN and go to America to get the games they want. And the ones who don't want to play this stuff, they'll go back and read books or something. Or they won't. And none of this DEI crap will sell because it doesn't sell to begin with. Get woke, go broke. And in case of get woke and go broke, we have Disney. And I give you the Hollywood Report article because it's basically a great example of copium, how the Disney versus DeSantis battle ended a stalemate. When the mainstream / drive-by media calls this a stalemate, what they're saying is Disney lost. Okay, because if Disney had actually stalemated, they would say Disney won. Okay, so what happened is Ron DeSantis put his foot down with some of the nonsensical grooming going on in schools with children. Okay, and the woke left was so far gone they thought that everyone would agree that this would go over and this stuff would be allowed in schools everywhere, and obviously Republican states are putting a stop to it, and the majority of people, not just Republicans but centrists and like more conservative Democrats, even though they're liberals like Bill Maher, they're all speaking out against this thing, saying, and so that was they tried to categorize this don't say gay bill as a don't say gay bill. It wasn't a don't say gay bill. It was a don't expose children to pornography bill. Okay. And eventually Disney sued multiple lawsuits. They sued the DeSantis administration. They sued the governor of Florida, and they've lost all of them. And Disney has lost so much money trying to push this woke crap. They've lost billions of dollars. They're having there's a proxy war on the board with Norman Peltz and his faction. Ron Perlman's in his faction. Not Ron Perlman. Ike Perlman. He's the guy who that Disney bought Marvel from. He's in the faction, Norman Peltz's faction, and there's a couple others more and more going in to try to take control of Disney from these woke morons. So, again, this article is there as an example of copium. So if you see the mainstream media saying that was a tie, that means a loss for Disney. Another example of copium. Many of you who were involved in comics over the years remember Dan DiDio's lament at a convention that back issues and reprints far outsell the vast majority of new comics, and he couldn't say it was because of the woke crap, but it was because of the woke crap. And since DC is owned by Warner, and Warner is under a dictate to actually make money, okay, they're still putting out all that woke crap and ruining the mainstream comics. They're not selling. So now they're going to reprint all the Elseworlds that people did like. And these will probably outsell the majority of mainstream comics. I strongly urge fans not to buy this crap. Go to your comic book stores, go to eBay, buy the original Elseworlds backstories. I probably should do a video maybe next week on the live stream, or I'll do a separate video talking about some great Elseworlds comics that have been out there over the years. My all-time favorite Batman comic book, Gotham by Gaslight, is an Elseworld. I probably have a PDF of it somewhere. Let me take a look-see here. Batman. DC Elseworlds. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to show off Gotham by Gaslight. So we'll take a break from the stop presentation. Present, share screen. Go to window. And freeze. So this is Gotham by Gaslight. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. Brian Augustin, Mike Mignola, P. Craig Russell, Dan Hornig, International Robert Bloch. It's a black and white for the most part. There's some pseudo coloration in it, and it's really beautiful artwork. We'll skip around a bit. And it's not black and white per se. It's old style comic art, like how it would have been back in like the 30s or 40s. Look at the look of Batman. Now, the original Gotham by Gaslight is basically a standalone graphics novel. Okay, skip forward a bit. There's the Batman. They made it eventually. They made a sequel. They made a sequel to it. I think then they made a third sequel, and then they made a Gotham by Gaslight ongoing series. And I do have I don't have a PDF to show you. I do have, obviously, I have what I showed you in physical print. I think Gotham by Gaslight's worth a lot of money. But they made a Gotham by Gaslight ongoing series that I was enjoying. I think before I stopped collecting in the 90s for a few years for health reasons. Anyway, let's get back to the articles. There you go. So I would strongly urge you to hunt down the original Elseworlds. Like, look what's in there. Like, this is look what's in there, and then go hunt down the work from the original writing, most of which should be available either as original prints or reprints from comic shops, and you will not give money to this crap, because you Marvel and DC Comics should not get any money until they end the woke. Any money, okay? So they end the woke crap and the ruination of characters, zero money. On to more. So let's go to the next one. So here we're talking about the first Omen. Now, what is the first Omen? It's obviously a prequel to the Omen trilogy. Now, to me, when I think of the all-time greatest trilogies, I know people say, I mean, you know, guys, I respect the Lord of the Rings. I think the theatricals are great movies, but they deviate from the source material enough that I'm down on them a bit, right? So they're not my favorite movie trilogy. My favorite movie trilogy is the Omen trilogy. It is such a beautiful work of horror, high quality acting, right? Then they made like 7 direct-to-video sequels, which made no sense because, you know, the end of Omen 3, spoilers, Jesus wins, and the world, you know, and the Battle Armageddon happened, Jesus wins, and, you know, all good things happen after that, you know. But so they come along with the idea of making a prequel. Now, this could be well done. This is basically how Damien was born, or blah, blah, blah. But I got a bad feeling about this. I mean, the acting looks pretty quality. You know, I just got a real bad feeling that it's just going to be horrible, okay, and not in a good horrible way. So let's look at some of the info here. So the first song has a brand new clip ahead of its release next month, promising bad things are about to happen. It stars Neil Tiger-Free, Tawfiq Barhum, who plays Mary Magdalene apparently. Sonia Braga, I know who she is. Ralph Ineson, I know who he is, obviously, Northman. Bill Nighy, not Bill Nye, the science guy, but Bill Nye, and it's directed by Akasha Stevenson, from a script written by Tim Smith and Keith Thomas. So I don't know. I just am very David Goyer, is involved. He's done Hellraiser, but not the original one, unfortunately. There's a lot of good people involved in this, but I just got a bad feeling about it. But we'll see. Okay. It's due out, due in theaters in April, so next week. Okay. And of course, and here's some good news: the communists in Japan have made their final mistake. Okay, because there's one group of fans you don't mess with in Japan. It's the Japanese otakus. So what these moron communists are going to do is, because the Japanese manga and anime people not only refuse to give in to DEI and make their product woke, but they actively are fighting their woke product by using AI to translate their materials to other languages and getting rid of voice actors and voice translation companies, localizers who are basically changing dialogue to make it woke. So which is why fans now say watch subtitled stuff, especially if you can get fan subs, because of the woke crap, right? So the Communist Party of Japan is now going to try reporting them manga to the United Nations and see if the UN can pressure the industry to give in. Hint, it ain't going to work. Japan is one of the nations that gives into as little pressure as possible externally, and this group of fandom is going to tell them to go fuck themselves. Okay, so that's our last fandom article, so to speak, right? I got 2 science articles, okay? Now, this is from the New Scientist. A friend of mine, the Unknown Sage, who's an actual physics major, has looked it over, so we were talking about it last night. And this basically, the gravity, so to explain it, I think I had an article about another gravity hypothesis a few weeks ago. So gravity is a determinate system. The other fundamental interactions, strong force, weak force, electromagnetism, are indeterminate. And right, so gravity is explained by general relativity, which is determinate. And this is in the article, by the way, in better phrasing. And the other fundamental forces are explained by quantum chromodynamics or quantum mechanics or whatever, which are indeterminate, and they're conflicting theories. They don't resolve mathematically to each other, so to speak. So for the longest time, they've been trying to find a way to quantize gravity, which is explain gravity via quantum mechanics, as opposed to general relativity. And to do that, there has to be a particle called the graviton, which conveys gravity between mass, so to speak. They've never been able to find one with any of the theories that predicted they could exist. They've never been able to find one. So now what they've done is they've found a particle which is not a graviton, but which behaves similar to one inside a semiconductor. So it doesn't convey gravity, but it behaves how a graviton should, in theory, behave. And I have a feeling, and this article is about, since they could find that, maybe it'll help them try to find the actual gravitons if they exist. I don't know if they do exist. I'm just saying it's an interesting read. It gives you a summary of where things stand, right? Obviously, you have to create a New Scientist account to read that. But that's because I've read more than 5 articles on them this month. If you only go there once, you'll get the article without a problem. The link is down below. And the last one, there's a total solar eclipse coming. That's the one where it's in daylight, where the moon blots out the sun. It'll be seen in North America on April 8th. So it's a very rare occurrence. It's the first one since 2017. It'll be visible from Mexico, 15 U.S. states, and southeastern Canada. So so I would say East Coast of North America type of thing. And they give the mentions of when you could see it and where over here. Obviously, it's the moon on the day side of the Earth, moving around. So that's something for you to check out. Now, my normal thing I do after this is I try to find a couple of random articles to talk about. It's 3:44. If there's no one out there asking questions, I'm gonna go for 3 articles. We'll close all this down. So we'll head out to Cosmic Book News, and we'll scroll around a little bit. So I talked about Kong vs. Godzilla already. We'll see how it goes. Oh, by the way, so my Masters of the Air reviews are obviously all done because the series is done. Hope you check those out. I have a lot of links with information if you want more information about what's going on in World War II at the time of those episodes. Shogun's ongoing. I usually post my Shogun reviews on Wednesday or Thursday morning. Obviously, it's Friday, so I did watch the episode, but for a combination of health reasons and other stuff, I just couldn't have time to sit down and record it. I'll probably do so this evening sometime. So it'll be out tomorrow, I hope. Shogun has been great so far, right? So I mean, it looks like we're gonna have two great adaptations of the novel Shogun, and there are franchises we can't even get one adaptation out of that's good, you know. And I'll be back. I'll be watching an episode of Sharp this weekend, so I'll have another review of Sharp. Season 3, episode 3 should be out soon. Let's go to Bounty in the Comics. Okay, so I have several things I want to link here. So Bandai Namco confirms Code Geass, a Rose of the Recapture, is going to release on Disney Plus. And then there's another article where Macross here. Big West announces the Macross fashion will be on Disney Plus and Hulu. So the problem here is they're going to wokeify it. Everything that goes on Disney Plus, anything that goes Disney gets wokeified, and which means you are not going to have the original high quality Macross. They're gonna fuck it up, okay, which is kind of sad because I was hoping this would be an opportunity with the version they're producing for this to grab it on Blu-ray finally, because the first two Macross series are great. Okay, I love Robotech as well; they're both great. But in any case, manga to Disney, anime to Disney Plus is not a good thing. What else can we find? So one or two articles, Fandemonium. Giant freaking robot. Toho Kingdom. Screen sci-fi. Oh, okay. So that's what I want to talk about for Godzilla Kong New Empire. So they did something stupid in Monarch where they established that the time in the Hollow Earth takes place at accelerated rate compared to the it occurs. You age more slowly in the Hollow Earth, basically, compared to the real Earth, right? The surface Earth. So then we go to Godzilla Kong, where people are in the Hollow Earth and they're not aging faster. So it's clearly incompatible with, and the people who did Monarch, which is a horrible TV show, it says some good monster fights. It's a horrible TV show. It's garbage. And I know people like it, but it's garbage. It's incompatible with the movies, and that's a critical fail. So there was another Godzilla film coming out in July in Japan called Godzilla Resurgence. This is Godzilla's 7th anniversary year. So we'll have to see how good this is. There'll be more report on that soon. One more article, and I think we'll call it. Nothing leaping out for me here. Try Vulture. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so we're gonna call it. I want to thank everyone for listening to me. Enjoy. I hope you. I will. Next week, I don't think I'll have an unboxing. Although I might get a graphic novel I've been eyeing on Amazon, so maybe you will see there. There's that, and I always have some articles to talk about, and I'll be able to talk more about Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla Kong, I should say. Right. So, anyway. Hope you enjoyed listening. Obviously, hope you'll catch this live stream a little later on the Reboot. Oh, you know what else? One more thing. Pro wrestling. So I've been getting back into pro wrestling. I do go through a cycle where I'll watch it for a year and a half, then lose interest for a year and a half, and so forth. So the products out there right now. Obviously, there's WWE with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Then there's AEW with their 3 shows. There's TNA with their once a week show. There's Ring of Honor out there, which I've been able to see matches of, and there's indie stuff I've been able to see on YouTube, right? I'm enjoying AEW's All Elite Wrestling's TV shows more than any of the others, simply because they don't hit you with promo spam. I mean, I know that people love Raw the last week, but they let those promos go on too long, okay? The only promo that should have been that long was the CM Punk promo with Drew McIntyre and Seth. Those are the only ones, okay? There was no, Cody talked for 10 minutes too long. Roman talked 10 minutes too long. And whenever Cody and Roman's team got out there, they should have broke down to a brawl. They should have the police dragging them out, and so which will raise the tensions for the matches in 2 weeks. Remember Brock and Undertaker had a huge brawl that had, which was great and fans loved it. There should have been a huge brawl, and then maybe the promos might have been okay. So again, I am pretty much done for the week with the Friday Fandemonium. Shogun review this probably tomorrow. I might start watching the 3-Body Problem, which is a science fiction series adaptation of a supposedly really good book. So we'll see what that holds. Anyway, have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe out there. Have a great holiday weekend. I am out of here.